Yeah. Okay. I'd like to open today's regular meeting for the Finance Committee for 4/17/2026 at 4:03 p.m. Public comment? Anybody have anything to? Oh. Last year, everybody complained about no public comment, and this year we opened up and not one person has shown up. That's okay. Okay, review and vote on outstanding Finance Committee meeting minutes. That's the first tab in the binder that I've provided. Would you, if you guys would like, you and Dan, by all means. Oh, absolutely. There's two more. You guys want one? Okay, so the first set of minutes is for March 10th. It was a regular meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's go with the other meeting minutes from April 2nd here at Town Hall. Another regular meeting of the Finance Committee. Do I have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept the meeting minutes as is.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
4-0. Thank you. Now for the one that was rejected. Okay, and has the wrong date on the top. So we're gonna have to correct that, but, all right, so, at the last tri-board meeting of 3/23, I'll make that change, but, let's just review everything else. So I did add some language in here, regarding it, so let me just go through it. The meeting opened at 6:30 p.m. Brian Gibbons called the meeting to order. The Belchertown Finance Committee met for the presentation of the Belchertown Fiscal Year 27 budget presentation and the Belchertown School Department Fiscal Year 27 final budget presentation. Minutes are provided by the Belchertown Select Board. During the meeting, there was a discussion on a $20,000 salary for the role of a new finance director versus additional funding being added to the deputy fire chief position currently funded for half of fiscal year 27. The FinCom was asked to vote or take a position on this decision. The FinCom chair did mention that there are many advantages of having a finance director, as well as expenses associated with a fire chief retiring or leaving without someone to fill the role. After the Finance Committee or FinCom reviewed the request, we decided not to act, as this is a personnel decision and not within the control of the FinCom. Is that?
I would change it. It says personal decision though.
Oh, personnel.
It's like, we're not involved in personal decisions. Yeah, personnel makes sense.
Yeah, personnel.
Okay.
It's a personnel decision.
Yeah.
Personal decision. Okay. Sorry, I didn't notice that.
Also, Mike keeps motioning.
Maybe I just say it like that. I'm Mothian.
Mike McMorrow. Okay. I added it, but okay, so when I make these changes.
Rick's name spelled wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rick, you spelled your whole name wrong.
I didn't do these. You did. I'm sorry. Our chairman did this.
Oh, no.
No, I copied another one, but anyway, so, all right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll make those 4 corrections. Aside from that,
Yeah, I think that's good.
we're good? Okay.
I got a quick question.
Mhm.
I wasn't present, but I watched it on YouTube. Actually, I watched it twice, and I watched the ending several times to make sure I knew what was going on. So can I or can I not vote on these minutes? Technically, I wasn't there, but I did see the presentation.
It's fine if you want to understand.
Okay. Just want to make sure you do it the right way.
Can I jump in on
Yeah.
that? If you are not either on here
Yeah.
or physically here, you can't vote.
Okay, that's good. All right. I can't make a motion here.
So we have a motion and it was seconded?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes with the required changes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
3-0.
301.
Brian, I'm able to present now if you want me to.
Oh, you are? Sure. So, excuse me, in here. If you look at that,
This one.
look at the meeting. And it's all the same steps. So for A, B, C, D.
Thank you. You might have to make me present up there too.
I will. So, let me go up there and make you. 8% debit going in here. There's personal right there. Okay, very good. This is actually it's perfect timing. Now we're getting into the why we're here. So the main reason we're meeting today, at 4 o'clock is the regular time, is the only time we could really make this all work. Is we want to get these warrant articles for special town meeting reviewed and voted on prior to it going to the communications committee for their enhanced report to give to the town the evening of town meeting. So we'll start with the warrant for special town meeting. It's just special town meeting. There's no question about what special town meeting is. It's just housekeeping at the end of the year to move some money around and pay some bills with unspent funds from the previous year. I don't think we really need to review the warrant itself. It's the warrant articles, which is on the next page. Jill, how do they normally do this? Do they read through the whole thing or just?
So one thing you need to do is decide who's going to read it. The finance committee reads the financial articles on town meeting floor, so that's one. You can take your pick if everyone feels like they have enough time to kind of digest what's in that chart, so to speak, then you can, just shoot off discussion accordingly. Otherwise, you can read through it, whichever you prefer.
I mean, this is just absolutely standard. I don't think we need to get into why there was $1,000 going to select board expense. That's not really our purview at this point.
Should there be
So-
totals? At the bottom of it?
There's no need for that. Every one of these is an individual
Yes.
transfer. Any discussion on any of this? Or we just make a motion to accept and then we'll assign.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so Article 1, I move the town transfer the sums of money as outlined below. Transfer from, transfer to. A couple of the main things here, health insurance town share, going over to the snow removal. And I just want to point out that, that may be controversial to some, but the entire amount of not 100% of it, but what are we going to have a balance of when we're done?
Stabilization,
Yeah, for the
we borrowed
25.
25,000 and some little bit of change.
Right. So the little bit of change is not identified in paying back.
So it's less than $1,000.
Yeah, it's the health insurance that's being funding that's being moved over to snow removal has nothing to do with the loan from stabilization. It's
Right, well.
above and beyond.
Stabilization, along with the transfers from other accounts. We also, the town departments also transferred from some of their accounts into health insurance town share. And those included police, highway, fire, a little bit from library and senior center, just here and there. So departments did give up funding to go into health insurance, so if you wanted to kind of get on the real needle's edge, that amount would have been coming from, the 42,000 for sure at least came from town budgets already, so we're just putting it back into town budgets. And the amount that we would have gotten, maybe less than $1,000, $125,000 is going back into stabilization fund, which was the, that was a push that it needed to be done, and because we didn't fare quite as badly as we had anticipated in health insurance, now is the best time.
Well, that was the whole point I was trying to make, is that the entire stabilization fund is being paid back, and this was above and beyond that. I don't want anybody to get the impression that we're using that money for anything else.
So is that 125,000 in Article 1 and in Article 2?
Good catch. I'm sorry, I had them separated and then I didn't. It was on my list of, we need this money and we have this money, and it just transferred over. I will fix that.
So does it belong
Yes,
on 1
it
or
needs to
2?
get off. It's not on 1, it should be on
Okay.
2,
Cross it out.
so that we're together. It's together, I think that makes the most sense.
The 125,000, in
I
Article
apologize for that.
1 is going to be crossed out.
Correct.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, so is there anything else in Article 1 that we see as being questionable or need explanation?
It's minor, but it says conservation salary 5,000 to unclassified. Is that an actual expense?
There is an account that is called unclassified. That $5,000 is going to be used for recreating or updating the town seal. So the town seal.
Okay.
So just a better copy of it is being, or better original of it is going to be created. And that's been talked about kind of all year.
Yes, it has.
So, the town clerk asked me about it the other day, and I was like, oh, yeah, let's put money into unclassified, because it's not really for any department per se. And that's what the unclassified account is about, like the town hall copier and so on and so forth. So I thought it made sense to put it there.
What does that cover? Is that just the drafting of a new seal, or is that an actual product?
I
Is
don't
that-
know. I
Seems
honestly
high.
don't know. That's not something I asked for,
You know,
because it's not up to me to say yay or nay, and I know that $5,000 has been requested and talked about throughout the year.
So my memory of that was, back when we initially started talking about it, was we were gonna need about 3,000 for the updates to the seal. So I don't know if it's become 5,000 because of inflation or whatever other reasons are there, or maybe there's some additional funds in there to cover the cost of what we need for maybe putting it on letterhead, or, what we're gonna do with the seal. So the clerk would be the best person to ask.
The savings from recreation wages, what is that?
There's a pool operator, there was a pool operator who has retired, so, there is another position related to the pool that is taken care of that.
Anything else? Do we have a motion to accept with the removal of the health insurance town share of $125,000 being transferred to the stabilization fund?
Make that motion.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
It passes 4-0-0. Now, for the other,
Who's gonna read that?
that's the next question, so.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know.
Actually, I wanted to.
Oh,
You'll be the first one in the mic, and aside from the moderator in town meeting,
yeah,
and the clerk.
might get sick that day.
I'll do your back.
That's fine.
Mike McMorrow, okay.
No, it's fine.
So he's gonna be the representative, right?
Okay, yes, Mike will be. So let's move on to Article 2. I move the town transfer the sums of money as outlined below, transfer from Belchertown Public Schools, $200,000 to the stabilization fund. And health insurance town share, $125,000 to the stabilization fund. And that will just about satisfy the $325,000. There'll be a balance of under $1,000.
We will not pay off, or we will.
We will eventually pay off, I would assume. So it's under $1,000.
We will be putting money in from free cash again this town meeting as well, or at annual as well.
Got it.
So it will be replaced
For July.
at that point,
Oh.
yes.
Any discussion, questions? Motion?
Motion to approve. Article 2.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Reader?
I'll take that one.
Who's reading the first one, Mike?
Mike, Katie?
Make sure
number 2.
I was reading something else.
So let's go now to Article 3. I move the town transfer the sum of $600 from the general insurance account to pay the following bill for a prior year. Bell and Hudson Insurance Agency Incorporated, $600.
Motion to approve Article 3.
Second.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Rick, you can have it or I can.
I'll take it.
Rick.
Such an important expense.
Do you want background on why that $600 is on the warrant?
I think it's it's so small.
Sure, why not?
I mean, we're,
If we have bills that come in later than is doable or for a fiscal year end. So this bill was for last fiscal year, and because it comes from the general fund generally, we have to have town meeting vote that we can pay it. Because it's outside of the fiscal year.
So now let's move on to, this one's quite large, this section, section 5. Sadly, on the top left, I'll have to do the top right next time, is the numbers 5A, 5B, as I had in, on the electronic side. But I don't think we need to go through the actual warrant articles themselves. I think we can move on to the questions.
The motion.
Yeah, the motions. Which is, if you look on the top left, you have to move it up, but you can see it'll say 5B in the top left corner. Katie, get it up there? So it'll be 5B.
Where are you, by the way? Okay.
I'm lost as to where you are.
I'm just at the motions.
Mhm. Those are the motions right up there, but it's this far into it, Nicole. Keep flipping, you'll find it. All right, so there are financial matters before the budget capital financial articles. But we're only here to vote on Article 8 and the financial articles until we get to Article 20. No.
We can certainly read article from, through Article 3, 4, and 5
Okay,
in session. It is, those are pieces, well, 3 isn't, but those are pieces of the income and expense, so it's probably appropriate for you to just kind of go through those. And you'll probably need to do those.
okay, well, we can start with Article 3. Everybody on it? All right. I move the town authorize the assessors members to appoint themselves to work in their various departments for the ensuing fiscal year at the following hourly rates, $17.50.
So I think at the select board meeting, someone was asking, is this even still necessary?
I believe it is.
We were asking about the Board of Health position and why it was getting $7.25 an hour, which I think was federal minimum wage, and now it looks like it's gone.
It's both.
Because
They're
they're
not
not doing it
working, they're
anymore.
not working. It's just not a thing that they do anymore.
So this was different than that.
We were more questioning the Board of Health, but yeah.
We got a motion?
Motion to approve Article 3 as is.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 4, 0, 0. And I guess it's my turn to read. Okay, then we'll move on to Article 4. I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $100 to be used by the assessors for legal counsel in resolving tax cases. I don't think we should question that.
Motion to approve Article 4?
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
4, 0, 0.
Do you want to do that while you're up there? Do 2 in a row?
I don't think they do it that way. I don't
Oh.
care.
Next turn.
Mike,
Okay, Katie.
I'm done with you. Had enough of you today.
All right. Article 5, I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $30,000 and appropriate from free cash in the treasury the sum of $125,000 for a total of $155,000. Math works. To the reserve fund for use by the finance committee. That's,
We need to be more specific, like for emergency purposes or?
it's for the reserve fund. The reserve fund is,
Right, the reserve fund is by law for
it's
unexpected or.
Motion to approve.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
4, 0, 0. And I guess that is Katie's.
I thought Katie was doing 4, no?
No. Mike's got a 4. Okay.
Oh.
I'm writing it all down too. It looks like Jill's over there writing it down too. So 2 out of 3 will 2 out of 3 will win this one. Article 6. I don't think there's anything in there. Article 7. I move the town appropriate the sale of cemetery lots account, the sum of $5,000 to cemetery lot development account.
Motion to approve Article 7?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4, 0, 0. And that will be read by Rick.
Good job, Rick.
Yeah.
But to talk about cemetery
Cemeteries.
plots, yeah.
Yeah.
A quick question. It's totally unrelated to this meeting, but I went through the budget and the progression. Sales from cemetery, $5,000 every year.
It is a receipts reserved for appropriation account. So when we sell lots, a portion of the fee for the lot goes into that account. And that's where any part of it gets used for this.
Oh, okay,
It's
so-
not it's not the full amount or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's just, we set aside $5,000 to be able to do some work. At some point, they could change the amount, but at this point, it seems to be working for.
So it's $5,000 from that, from what they earn, and that's all we're taking. Okay, that's,
So if they don't pay, do you evict the tenants?
Have the tenants apply.
Where does the balance of the receipts go beyond the 5,000?
There is a perpetual care account, a cemetery perpetual care account. So that goes to really the upkeep overall of the cemeteries.
okay, so here's one of the big ones. So, Article 8. And if I'm not mistaken, Jill, A, B, C is all done by somebody different, and they're all done separately, okay? So, and we'll vote on Article 8A, B, C, all separately. Okay, so I'll read through each one of them, and we will make a decision. Article 8, A, I move the town fix the salaries and compensation of all elected officers of the town as provided in section 108 of chapter 41 of the Massachusetts General Laws as amended as shown in the Finance Committee's report to raise and appropriate from available funds in the treasury for departmental and incidental expenses of the town for the ensuing fiscal year. And that the various major categories of the budget as contained in the Finance Committee's report be considered separately and acted upon. And further, that these sums of money granted and appropriated for the several specific purposes therein designated be expended only for the purposes as specifically designated and under direction of the respective officers, boards, and committees of the town.
Motion to approve.
So when it talks about shown in the finance committee's report, what report is that referring to?
I gave you the body, which is the numbers, and Brian is working on the verbiage for it.
It's in here. It's the last thing we're gonna look at.
Okay, so motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
400. And I guess it's my turn.
You get the phone one.
Okay, so now we will move to Article 8B. I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $2,623,609 and appropriate from free cash in the treasury the sum of $194,003 and appropriate from wetland fees $5,000 for total appropriation of $2,817,612 for general government. Each item and amount recommended in the Finance Committee's report being considered as a separate appropriation voted by town meeting.
Question on this one. That 2,623,609, should that not be the same as what we're saying? Is that the town enterprise funds?
The 2817612 is what should be your income and expense. Is that what you have in front of you?
No, I'm looking at our finance committee report, at least the last draft that I got.
Okay, so yes, is it 2,817,612 should be the general government amount at the end of the finance committee.
What is the 2,623,609 then?
That is the amount of raise and appropriate, which is taxation. Free cash will be $194,003 to add to that. And then $5,000 in wetlands fees added to that. The total is $2,817,612.
That's the only number I don't see, it's just, so, but I could be looking at the wrong place.
You don't see the 2.8?
It's not in. But it's, what Katie's looking at is fixed cost. But we can get into this, but it's $2,635,104 allocation of the town enterprise funds.
That's not the same thing.
Right, I didn't think so, yeah, okay.
No, well, I'm sorry, on this report, it's referred to as sanitation and environmental.
We're not, this isn't sanitation and environment.
What is, so
The
this,
general government, which would be town hall and
okay,
energy.
And what?
Energy house next door.
Okay, Katie, if you look in the back on this one, general government is $2,870,612.
yeah, got it.
All right, now that we got that. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve as is.
Second.
Discussion? Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
400. And I believe that's gonna go to Mr. Mike. Okay, we'll move on to 8C. I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $4,915,622 and appropriate the sum of $1,430,000 from the ambulance receipts reserved for appropriation account for a total appropriation of $6,345,622 for public safety. Each item and amount recommended in the Finance Committee's report being considered as a separate appropriation voted by town meeting.
This might be minor, but would it sound better if you said 2, public safety versus 4?
That's,
And like I said, it's,
we have it, we have these all reviewed by council,
okay, that's
so
fine. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, I don't think we want to get into the exact verbiage here.
Okay.
Because it's the warrant article on the front. If you look at it, you can
It's
see
just
all
a
the
question.
questions and all marked up by the attorney.
It's just a question.
So any discussion?
Your motion to approve 8C as is.
Second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 400. And Katie, you get the honors. 8C. All right, we'll move on to item 8D. I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $35,829,283 and appropriate from free cash in the treasury the sum of $452,672 for a total appropriation of $36,281,955 for the town school department. Each item and amount recommended in the Finance Committee's report being considered as a separate appropriation vote by town meeting.
This is just a normal split, right? So this one is.
this is, are you talking about the free cash piece?
Yeah, this is just a normal.
What I did was I took the amount that is going into the budgets and I did 70/30, just to keep it simple. So
Yeah.
that's 70%, yes.
Okay.
So I mean, I do want to say something about this budget with this, with the closing of Cold Spring School this year, the building operation costs were just about $500,000, maybe, I think one of the reports said 4 million. or no, 498,000. So let's just say $500,000. And, you know, I'm really afraid that we're going to be in the same position next year that they were in last year, before the override. And it's really, I'm really disappointed that nothing was done to take some of those excess costs or excess funds. They moved them right into their operating budget, which I fully understand doing that. But it would have been nice to take a portion of that and put it towards helping them increase their efficiencies, either in further consolidation down the road or something. And I'm just bringing that up because the finance committee per bylaw does review and take into consideration the school committee. We're never part of that process. And hopefully we can change that, but unless we prepare for it, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again sooner rather than later.
Are you looking to vote this one and then it down?
No, we're just having a discussion.
No, I understand that.
I think it's very relevant. The select board approved this sum to go onto the warrant, and we just going to provide our advice and consent to town meeting.
So with South Hadley voting down their Prop 2.5 override, will that do anything in regards to school of choice students for Belchertown? Or not?
The phone might ring quite a bit. I mean,
It shouldn't, because they decide how many spaces in each grade level. So that should not even be
So if they have it in
coming
their
in, but going out, I don't know. But I don't know how that would affect, how they're gonna deal with their school choice at that point.
But-
If that's gonna change at all in South Hadley.
Tuesday they're meeting to come up with another override amount and have a special election. So, not Tuesday, so. So it's not a done deal yet, but, I don't know, is there a motion?
Motion to approve
8D.
8D.
Second.
All in favor?
Right?
Aye. Okay, Rick, that looks like that one is you.
Good luck.
Sure you don't want to do
There are
it?
gonna be a lot of questions.
Sure you don't want to do it? It's one of your favorite subjects.
Okay, let's move on to 80. I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $1,480,362 for Pathfinder Regional Vocational Technical High School District. Each item and amount recommended for, in the Finance Committee's report being considered as a separate appropriation voted by town meeting. I'll just start saying 3 of us went to the, and Nicole was there representing the select board with 2 other members. I mean, it was a great presentation. I learned a heck of a lot about how they put a school budget together, and it was, it was quite impressive. And our price went down quite a bit. So,
I was happy.
yeah, so
I know
that,
not everybody was.
Would that be?
No, I was impressed. I mean,
To me, it says a lot about what you can do with assessments versus being part of a town budget. They're growing by leaps and bounds and able to spend more per kid, and so, kudos to them.
well, it's funny that you say that because spend more per kid, but if you look at Pathfinder, they're their own, the Pathfinder School Committee is their own government. They don't answer to anybody except for the state and the voters and the various communities. So in there, if I'm not mistaken, and Jill, correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't count the insurance that the town pays for the for the school department as funding direct for the school department, therefore it doesn't end up in the per student costs.
I'm not sure I'm not 100% sure whether that is accurate or is not accurate. When they do their reporting, they do have the in-kind costs,
Mhm.
which will pull in things like, the piece of Hampshire County retirement that belongs to the school department employees. And the buildings, insurance for the buildings, for the schools, that all gets pulled in there. So I'm not sure, because I'm not honestly sure exactly what they use, because I've never looked at it, for their per pupil expenditure. But I suspect it would probably be that Schedule 1, Schedule 19 report that they do at the end of the year.
If I'm not mistaken, and I might be, but doesn't DESI separate regional districts from municipal districts when they do that reporting?
Yes.
So I'm wondering if it's for that purpose. Yeah, I'm just for
I'm not a school
conversation.
expert.
Yeah. We'll know by next budget season. Just,
Yeah, I haven't spent enough time on the DESI. I mean, I think to me, it seems like if we take the school budget of 35.8 million, divide it by the number of students, yeah, you're not capturing all the costs just based on this budget, right? Because insurance and other costs sit outside of this 35.8 that are related to the school. So,
And I suspect that school transportation might be separated out of the per pupil costs. I'm pretty sure it is. So
For
whatever they
DESI?
spend on busing, on transportation, would be subtracted out.
for DESI purposes.
And that's not just that you have to really research to make sure, but
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know about DESI, but yeah, if you look at just
Mhm.
the town budget as we have it presented, it's not fully loaded.
what's the point of it? All right, well, I mean, none of that has anything to do with the motion really, but, is there a, someone, or, I'm sorry, with the warrant article, does anybody want to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
One second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 400. And, let's see, after Rick, I believe that's me. Brian will be reading 8E. Let's move on to 8F. I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $2,243,083 for DPW highway. Each item and amount recommended in the Finance Committee's report being considered as a separate appropriation voted by town meeting.
Motion to approve 8F.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 400. And I believe that is Mr. Mike McMorrow. We'll be reading that. Move on to 8G. I move the town appropriate from landfill receipts the sum of $380,000 and appropriate from landfill enterprise free cash and the treasury the sum of $78,449 for a total appropriation of $458,449 to the landfill enterprise fund. Each item and amount recommended in the Finance Committee's report being considered as a separate appropriation voted by town meeting.
Motion approved.
There's a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 400 again. And Katie, obviously honors.
I get the cemetery, you get the landfill.
Right. 8H. I move the town appropriate from sewer enterprise receipts in the sum of $1,525,000 and appropriate from sewer enterprise free cash in the treasury, the sum of $284,642 for a total appropriation of $1,809,642 to the Sewer Enterprise Fund. Each item and amount recommended in the Finance Committee's report being considered a separate appropriation voted by town meeting. Is there a motion?
Can I discuss something or?
Absolutely.
First? Okay.
No, you can-
When it talks about the enterprise fund, is that similar to the DEP enterprise fund, which is something appropriated for cleanup?
The sewer enterprise fund, if it's an enterprise fund, all the fees paid for the fund. So there's no taxation that goes into enterprise funds. It's part of the town. It's just set up differently than other departments. So we have stormwater, landfill, and sewer.
But is it designed for a cleanup portion or something?
No,
I'm used to DEP enterprise being for
Yeah.
cleanup.
it's wastewater treatment plant. So all wastewater goes through
Okay.
the
All right, just one
that
clarification.
plant. So technically it is cleanup.
Yeah, I know, I know. I was just trying to clarify it in my head. Motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 400. Approved, and I think we're back to Rick.
Yeah,
We're going full circle. It's going quick.
cemeteries and the sewers. I'm on a roll here.
All right, move on to 8I. I move the town appropriate from stormwater utility enterprise receipts the sum of $255,000 appropriate from stormwater enterprise free cash, and the treasury, the sum of $112,013 for total appropriation of $367,013 for the stormwater utility enterprise fund. Each item and amount recommended in the finance committee's report being considered as a separate appropriation voted by town meeting.
Motion approved. 8I.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
400. And let me guess, that's gonna be me. Brian Gibbons. We'll be reading that. All right, move on to 8J. I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $1,032,037 for the Human Services Department. Each item and amount recommended in the Finance Committee's report being considered as a separate appropriation voted by town meeting. Discussion or a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
8J, approved 400. And I believe we're back to Mr. Mike McMorrow. We'll be reading that one. All right, we'll move on to 8K. I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $1,051,158 for culture and recreation departments. Each item and amount recommended in the Finance Committee's report being considered as a separate appropriation voted by town meeting.
Motion to approve. 8K.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 400.
Katie.
Boy, and Katie's getting all the softballs.
Yep.
What is culture and recreation? What is that? What's one thing?
Libraries, recreation department. Rec, the pool, all of those types of things.
Beach.
Town beach, correct.
All right. Thank you.
I think that covers it.
That makes sense.
All right, let's move on then. We're all good. 8L. I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $1,062,361 for DPW Buildings and Grounds Departments. Each item and amount recommended in the Finance Committee's report being considered as a separate appropriation voted by town meeting. And-
Motion to approve 8L.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 400. And, that's back to me.
Yeah.
No, it's Rick.
It's Rick.
Rick.
Sorry.
Trying to make this easy, keep it all.
Can I make a comment on that?
Sure.
I just looked it up. There's no, I'm not seeing that there's any requirement for you to like do each person. Remember, there's a lot of cords up there behind the table. And I know we like to get out of it as quickly as we can. So I mean, if you wanted to revisit this and just read them in groups, as far as what I can see, you can do that.
That'd be good.
If
Yeah.
you want to revisit who does things, or for next year too, but
Well, I
it's
mean,
absolutely a trip hazard up there.
it comes up, a lot of these are just gonna be voted on, but some of them are gonna have quite a bit of discussion. It's not like you can read a whole bunch of them
Mhm.
at once. I mean, there's,
No, I'm not saying read them all at once, but have like multiple people stay up there and read like maybe 3 or 4 at a time. Like have one person read 3 or 4 and then Rick sits down and then you come up and read, just a suggestion. You can do them all too.
oh, there we go. Yeah.
I have a motion for that. I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Well, let's get through these. We'll write it down and then we'll take a look if we want to do something different.
Yeah.
Okay. We're on a roll now. Let's keep going. Okay, 8M. All right, I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $7,672,624 to the pensions and insurance accounts. Each item and amount recommended in the Finance Committee's report being considered as a separate appropriation voted by town meeting.
Motion to approve 8M as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Yep.
Just a quick question for Jill here. I mean, this is one of our fastest growing consistent budget items every year. Do we see a tipping point when the rate of growth is going to slow down? I mean, the town keeps getting bigger, the employee base is growing, so I would think it's going to keep.
Yeah, I don't see what would slow it down. Outside of having less people on benefits.
What changes to benefits?
It's it's borderline, I shouldn't even say borderline, but unsustainable with the rate of increase compared to the rate of increase of other departments. But whatever.
Well, it's also, we also just did a 20% and a,
Mhm.
12.5%. And so on.
I mean, it is what it is. It's you gotta pay it. There's just no question. There's no leeway there whatsoever. Okay, so anyway, that goes back to me.
Which, by the way, I did see on the Hampshire County Group Insurance Trust minutes, the audit, they have a draft and they've reviewed it, so I'm thinking that will come forward sooner rather than later.
Really? Wow. I was giving up. I stopped looking.
Oh, just so you know, it was discussed at their last executive session to purchase some software
Good.
and start using it.
It's amazing.
So,
That'll allows you to right click, convert to PDF any report you want. And it's really, really easy and quick.
Yeah.
I think everybody up here knows that very well. Anyway, let's move on to 8N. I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $85,098 to the unclassified accounts. Each item and amount recommended in the Finance Committee's report being considered as a separate appropriation voted by town meeting. Back to unclassified.
yeah, I mean, nailed on that one.
85,000.
Line in your pockets, huh? Motion to approve 8N.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passes 4-0-0. And,
Mike again.
then we're back to Mike, and we'll see. Okay, we'll go back, we'll move on now to 8-0. I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $950,366 to the interest and debt accounts. Each item and amount recommended in the Finance Committee's report being considered as a separate appropriation voted by town meeting. I think this is just another one of those that we're just gonna pay. So the bills are coming in, we gotta pay them.
Motion to approve 8A.
Can I actually ask a question on this one, Jill? So I don't even know if this is the right article, but we have some debt that is coming to a close that we're going to reapply for. Is that in this article?
Yes, this is the last year on that 200, I think it's around $255,000. The bulk of that $255,000 that is going to be paid off is from the energy savings projects that we did.
And so of that 255, is that then funneled right back into this 950, or is this without the 255?
The 255 is still in there. FY27 will be the last year.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I don't know if I maybe was unclear.
Oh, no, I get it.
And so that's why we're looking at trying to, bond more money for, that will be, start being due in FY28.
Okay.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0-0. Okay, Katie. That's the honors for now, anyway. Let me change that in a few minutes. All right, 8P. I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $500,000 to the capital and one-time expenditures account. Each item and amount recommended in the Finance Committee's report and shown below being considered as a separate appropriation voted by town meeting. The only thing I want to say about that is I believe that $500,000 was earmarked in the, as a separate appropriation in the override. That there would be, and we're going to move forward with that every year, so.
But who determined the items?
Capital Improvement Planning
Directly
Committee.
from capital, so we just took the recommendation of the capital committee, correct?
And there is a representative of the Capital Improvement Planning Committee here. He's here, is it?
I'm here as a private citizen. I'm not authorized to speak as a member.
Really?
Well, I'm here as a private.
Okay.
But this is what, these were your suggestions from the committee?
Yes.
Was this what was covered at the tri-board meeting? I remember that they talked about something around this amount to be approved.
Well, there's a lot more than this in the Capital Improvement Planning Committee's report that we're funding. This is just attributed to the $500,000
Yep.
from the override that, and which is going to move forward every year. This is just that, and there's free cash that was moved to capital, and I think some other, it might just be free cash that was
There's
added.
free cash, there's this 500,000, and then there's a separate bonding request.
But that's,
It's three separate
yeah, that's,
items.
the bonds are completely different, yeah. So yeah, so it's this and the free cash, and that's coming up shortly.
I wanted to differentiate. Thank you.
So,
Motion to approve.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0-0. Rick, oh, let's see, you got a good one there, Rick.
Yeah,
A popular
finally.
one.
Yep.
All right. I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussion on it though. Okay, we'll go, all right, now we'll move to Article 9, and I believe, Jill, if I'm not mistaken, I read through here, for the most part, we're going up until Article 12. I mean, there's some other items in there later on.
We do
The
Article
the
10.
community preservation,
Okay.
there are a couple of others after Article 18 and 19, 20 will also be.
So we'll do 9, 11, and 12 next. All right. So Article 9, I move the town appropriate from free cash in the treasury the sum of $420,339 for one-time and/or capital items as printed in Article 9 of the annual town meeting warrant.
So if you want to see the chart before you vote, it is on page 3 of the town meeting warrant within this book. So if you go back to the tab and turn the page, it's right there.
A lot of red letter in there.
Back to the warrant section.
So tab number 8.
Pull that tab. Yep, one more page. Right there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no question that these are all new projects. I mean, the only comment I have is we're not spending enough money on capital. We should be putting more money in there. But where are you gonna get it?
Well, this is a good step. We've made a big step forward.
Huge step.
So I think we can build off of that.
And if, I mean, there's nobody that I see on there, but I will say that if anybody questions any of this, what the capital improvement planning committee does, it's as transparent as any group in this town. They scrutinize every single project that comes in front of them, and everyone that they consider funding, the department manager or the department head comes in there and explains it to them. And I mean, there's a lot of time and effort goes into this, and you know, the town owes them a big thank you for putting all that effort into doing this. And, you know, two of us up here know it firsthand. So anyway, since we have somebody here in the audience who's not authorized to speak on this, we could just move on to moving the $420,339
Move it.
to
Motion.
capital. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
4-0-0. And I guess after Rick is me. So
And we're not doing what, 10?
okay, we'll move on to 11. And I believe 11 are the actual cap. Yeah, this is the bond funding. Okay. Huh?
That's great.
Right. So Article 11, and I mean, this is, I'm very glad that this is happening, but I'm personally, I move the following amounts are appropriated to fund the capital projects set forth below, including all costs incidental or related thereto. That to mean this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the select board, is authorized to borrow such amounts under Chapter 44, Section 7 of the general laws, or any enabling authority, that any premium received by the town upon the sale of any bonds or notes approved by this vote, less any such premium applied to the payments of the cost of issuance of such bonds or notes, may be applied to the payment of costs approved by this vote in accordance with Chapter 44, Section 20 of the general laws, thereby reducing the amount authorized to be borrowed to pay such costs by a like amount, and further to authorize the select board to their designee to enter any agreements and execute all documents necessary to effectuate the purposes of this vote. So these are the projects that were vetted and moved forward for, I believe the initial intent although it's not, I don't believe it's in here, it's for a 10-year bond, to pay for these. And
No, we have to decide on that still.
really,
Well, what I gave you today, has 15 years, but some of them will be 5. There's,
okay.
the number of years is on that list that I gave out today.
And if you go a few pages back, you're gonna see an email between, the town manager and Sarah Mann, the treasurer collector. She spells out, the 10-year rate and the 20-year rate, and she broke it down to what we'll be paying in interest on, or the cost of service, the debt, I should say. And she broke it down to what we'd be paying back per year. And it's all based around the $250,000 mark. There is, it all falls in line with the 10-year rate is 3.75%. And we'll be paying a total interest on, to service that debt of $445,000 and some change. And this is, and this is really important. Going up to a 20-year bond, the interest goes up to, let's see here, 4.5%. And if we do that, a principal of 3.2 million, we're paying back 1.7 million in interest. So it's, I would, if we ever get to that point, we want to have a discussion about, you know, whether we want to decrease our length and pay a little bit more and save some money. I know what Nicole's thinking. She's going to save that conversation for another day, but.
There will be an update from our financial advisor
Mhm.
on a couple of different scenarios. So those will be coming to you soon.
So if this is approved, will these not be purchased until we get that bond?
They can be purchased in advance of. They won't be, they can be purchased anytime after July 1,
Okay,
and then the bonding will happen probably August,
okay,
September maybe. And as long as we can float it in between and we have it covered by June 30th, we're
Okay.
okay.
excellent, thank you.
And what is the cost associated with getting a bond?
I can't tell you that.
Really?
That's the treasurer. I don't.
It's not an inexpensive ordeal, I know that. Just curious.
Yeah, I don't. It's in the thousands, but it's not in the tens.
Okay, well, that's good. All right.
There's usually an initial upfront fee, and then there's, after the bond is sold, there's a servicing fee that they'll collect. So the investment house will make something upfront, and then a little tidbit as it continues to take payments every month. It's almost like your house mortgage.
Yeah. I like the fact that there's a lot of school projects in here, and it's broken down quite a bit. I don't think it's really, we want to get into the individual projects. I don't think that's really our purview, but,
No, I just had a question that CHCS HVAC replacement is on this list, and then it's also on the other capital list, not in the same amount, so I don't know if it's just supplementing.
I'm guessing, I did not break these down, but I'm guessing that it would be. Okay, so there's cafeteria, there's auditorium, and this is.
It's just HVAC replacement.
I think that's, okay, so there are separate sections, I think, of the building, they were put in, I believe that's 3 separate cafeteria, auditorium, and then the overall main part of the building.
Sounds good to me.
I believe that's how it looked on the original list.
All I can say about this is I've been to a couple of the meetings and I've logged in and they vetted each one of these separately. I mean, in great detail. So, I would think they're all, I would trust that they're all three separate projects,
Yes.
not overlapping work. So is there a motion?
Motion approved.
Second? Favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0-0. And
Good night.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, have a good time.
yeah,
Thanks, Katie.
okay. So now, we'll move on to Article 12. I move the town appropriate free cash in the treasury, the sum of $194,003 to the stabilization fund.
Motion to approve Article 12.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 4-0-0.
Don't strain yourself on that one.
Yeah. Katie's the winner. Okay, so, we've got a few more down here.
Are we at 18? Is that the one?
Yeah, 18 and 19 have some dollar signs in it, so we'll go, Article 18. I move the town appropriate from the PEG access and cable related fund the sum of $162,916 to be used for operations at the Belchertown Community Channel and anything incidental or related thereto for the ensuing fiscal year commencing July 1st, 2026.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
4-0-0 passes. And Rick. I got a question for that, though, Jill. This is coming from a charter. And I know that subscriptions have been tanking in town with cable television. And I know my price keeps going way up because we haven't canceled yet. But well, I'm not going to say that. I mean, what's going to happen with this?
I can tell you that the funds are there for this. Our receipt this fiscal year was 166. It's via what the contract reads, and I don't know the details of that, but I do know the money is there at this moment. And each time, every 10 years, they do a new contract that delineates the,
It was just renegotiated maybe 2 years ago.
yeah.
So, well, it is what it is. Just a curiosity thing. All right, let's move on to Article 19. I move the town raise and appropriate the sum of $3,500 to the Belchertown Cultural Council expense account to be used for the purpose of providing engaging arts and cultural programming for the Belchertown community. The only comment I have is $3,500 seems incredibly low for that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, but I know that they get grants outside of this that probably fund most of it, but how did that $3,500, how did that come to be that amount?
I don't know how many years ago, but several years ago, maybe a decade, the Cultural Council came forward and asked for a budget to help support the food trucks, actually. That was the original request. It was $4,500. They do get donations and fees and grants, but this assures that they had the money for certain things related to the food trucks. So that
porta potties.
We, yeah, we have, so the town has continued, they did reduce by $1,000 in a rough year. So we have continued to help fund them for underlying costs for some of their programming. They do a lot for, for the town.
It's great.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
4, 0, 0. And I guess that's on me
Yeah.
for the time being. Okay. All right. Looks like we got some more here in Article 20. I move the town appropriate from free cash in the treasury the sum of $32,334 to the other post-employment benefits OPEB liability trust fund.
Motion approved.
Second,
Oh, yeah.
all in favor?
Aye.
4, 0, 0. And Mike, I don't even think it's worth discussing that one. Wouldn't pass the straight face test, I know. Okay,
That's the end, because community preservation is not something that the finance committee generally votes on.
okay, so I guess we're done with this portion. Okay, so, okay, well, let's move on now. Oh, well, actually, let's go back. All right, so, of course, Nicole had to bring up that we could sit up there, stand up there and read a couple of these at a time. I mean, that's, if you guys want to discuss that, we certainly can go that route. I was just, thought we'd go as how traditionally it was done, but we don't have to.
Anything that reduces the chances of me tripping and falling in front of everyone would be fabulous. So
In front of the whole town, exactly.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think it's a good idea, but only if I agree to go on ones.
You know what, why don't we conclude this and then we can discuss assignments after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on, because if it's a long one, you know, you're talking about, sometimes you get 20 minutes of deliberation on, you know, with commenters from the floor and does somebody really want to, even with the short ones, I mean,
Yeah.
but does somebody want to stand up there for all that time while this is going on? And I mean, it doesn't, it's just something we can consider. All right, well, so after this and some of these other items that I had in here, I included with what Jill provided. It's just some spreadsheets to go along with this. I don't know if anybody has any questions about it. Like I'm right after the warrant articles is the fixed costs. Let's see, town government is a total, let's see, of $6,552,464.78 of the fixed cost. And the school department has a total of $7,959,857.22 in this, and this isn't really obvious in the reports that are put out. And this is above and beyond the 70-30 split, if I'm not mistaken, Jill. It's way above and beyond that. So.
Will this be included in the warrant articles or is it just our?
No, this is just supporting for
Okay.
that, yeah.
Thank you.
Just discussing it. It was sent to us for a reason. This is just some,
Now, this is interesting. Any sort of repairs and maintenance or like, anything that's factored in on the school side or no? Like
are you
field
talking,
maintenance or?
you're talking about,
Isn't there a town employee that manages the?
are you talking about fixed costs?
Yes, it's,
And that-
we have a town employee that they fund who does fields and so on.
So would that be in kind or that's not?
That would not be in the in-kind because they are paying for that piece.
Got it.
Actuarial study says every other year.
So if we wanted to look at the school fully loaded, we would add the 7.96 to the 35.28 or whatever it was.
Yes. This, I want to point out, includes Pathfinder. So
Okay.
where that lies in your, consciousness, it's to the eye of the beholder.
Well, it's, yeah, if you want to look at it like here's everything it costs to educate.
Oh,
That's the revenue.
Pathfinder students from Belchertown, or Belchertown students being educated, so you can make them. Where would Pathfinder be located? Because it says Belchertown Public Schools portion. Or would it be in there?
It's at the top line is.
Yeah.
the Pathfinder.
Okay, so it is in the, okay. So remove the 1,578,000 and you got your number.
Would you say the in-kind, what does that represent?
In-kind services are items that the town pays for that have to do with the schools as well, like the buildings, building insurance and
Okay,
retirement and so on.
okay, thank you.
But if it's retirement of non-MTA
Correct.
employees, okay, so
Yes.
custodians, paraprofessionals,
Paraprofessionals.
administrative.
What is the fringe at the top? And why is that just town?
Oh, that is actually Medicare town share, health insurance town share, and life insurance town share.
So the schools is all within their
The
budget?
schools carry their own.
Okay.
All right, and the next sheet is just some of the capital projects that are gonna be funded. It shows the life expectancy, the total cost. So hence with, when Jill mentioned, 15 years kind of in the middle there. There's 20-year and 10-year projects here.
And yes, and these are the borrowing projects only.
Is the door still open if we wanted to go for the higher amount? More or less?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, but we'll have to have another town meeting to do it.
exactly. But
I'm just looking at the town meeting warrant. I have to think about this.
Well, actually, the town meeting warrant might not have,
It does not have.
The amount on it.
specifics in it.
but the list does have a total.
Probably.
Yeah, the list does have a total. And I think we should keep it that way.
I'm not 100% sure whether that list will remain there or come to the motions or stay in vote. That's outside of my purview.
All right, well, the next section after the projects is the treasurer collector's explanation of costs of debt for borrowing for capital projects. And the next page that we have in there is the total override vote. Everything that was in there on year one, fiscal year 26 override, $198,244 came to town side of government. $1,636,236 went to the school department. Capital one-time expenses was $500,000, which is going to be carrying over year. Technically, that can change. The only thing that's required is year one, but I would not personally support changing that. That's what town voted on. There seems to be a little bit of confusion on this, but part of the override was a second year assessment of $559,920. And that is for the 6 firefighters that, whose grant expired, an ambulance lease, and to help pay for a grants manager. And that's I think we just started getting taxed for that. Or we're going to just start getting taxed for that upcoming.
When the December set taxes go out, that will be added, that $559,920 will be added to the total.
And the last page, or the last section here, is the school aid analysis. And, which, I mean, it's, we don't really need to get into that right now, but I did throw that in there. And on the last page here, you have a chart. It shows required district contribution, chapter 70, and school committee budgeted NSS. What is it, NSS?
Net school spending.
Net school spending. So in this,
That'll be in color, right, for town meeting?
well,
I
I have it in color.
am
Is
not,
this,
I'm not planning on doing that in town.
I was just gonna ask.
That's not part of the town meeting documentation
Right.
unless we're directed accordingly. But I'm not sure it would make sense. That's just me.
It's pretty, so the required district is the bottom. The chapter 70 is the upper on the vertical lines, and school committee budgeting NSS is the horizontal line on the top. And that's really it. Thank you for those. Joe. All right, we can move on to our fiscal year 2027 message. Do we want to read through this, or did we look at it? I made one change to this today that nobody has seen, because I didn't want Jill to give me an earful in front of everybody.
I have some
Okay.
thoughts.
Mhm.
But I don't know if you read through it and I can just type in whatever, or if you just want to go through with my thoughts.
Okay, so we'll read through it, that's fine. Fiscal year 2026 financial committee members, myself, Mike, starting with the chairs and the change, and have all that listed. There's nothing really there to comment on. Fiscal year 27 budget calendar, fall of 2025 through May 11th, which will be on the town meeting. I don't know if there's any comments on any of these major dates that I threw in there. And the fiscal year 2027 message is basically just who we are and what we do. It's kept consistent year to year. I did not make any changes to that.
At the top, you have Rick's name spelled wrong again.
I do.
Different way.
Any 2 L's? It should be AL.
Yeah.
I gotta go get my dog, I'm sorry.
Okay,
It's okay.
The daycare.
We don't need this, well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
all right. Well, that's the first one. All right, so let me, we'll move on to page 2 and get into the meat of this. All right, the total fiscal year 27 budget for the town of Belchertown is $69,389,027. This includes OPEB and stabilization. This amount includes the Proposition 2.5 override fiscal year 27 amount of $559,921. This is in addition to the $2,334,479 Proposition 2.5 override amount utilized in the fiscal year 26 budget. The fiscal year 27 override funds will be expended as follows. $437,000 for full cost of 6 firefighters upon expiration of federal funding. $57,921 is grant manager position upon expiration of ARPA funding. And $65,000 is for an ambulance lease. The $559,921 total from the fiscal year 27 override. We can move on to capital improvements. $927,339 of capital one-time expenditures are included in the fiscal year 27 budget. The total amount includes $420,339 is from certified free cash and $500,000 from the Proposition 2.5 override. Fixed costs, $8,663,088 of fixed expenses for costs, which include $7,627,624 for insurance for all town-owned and school buildings, general liability, fringe benefits, unemployment, workers' compensation for town department employees, and pension for town government employees and some school personnel. $950,366 interest and debt, $85,098 for other miscellaneous.
So when it says some school personnel, that was a question I had, and I think you might have already answered it, it's like janitorial and.
Yeah. Non-MTA or administrator. I believe the administrators have their own fund as well. I don't think they go through the town side. The superintendent, assistant superintendent. Yeah. The administrators.
They might actually be an MTA.
They might be an MTA. I mean,
I don't.
The principals and vice principals at the schools, the guidance counselors. I'm not sure that they're covered under that, but the administrative assistants, the paralegals, the custodians, they're all covered under that.
Cafeteria.
Okay, yeah, cafeteria helpers. Library, most likely.
No, that's a teacher position.
Really? Is it? Okay.
That would be a professional
Okay.
position, yes.
All right, well, we can move on now. And what I did here, because Katie and I did talk about this on a few days ago, and it was confusing the way it was done, so I highlighted, I put in bold print the items that add together to the $69 million budget. Make it easier. Everything else is just broken down within that number. $2,635,104 allocation to the town's enterprise funds. $194,003 allocation to the town stabilization fund. $32,334 allocation for OPEB liabilities. Of the $56,944,159 remaining, $36,281,955 is allocated to the schools, and it attributes to a 2.08% increase. $1,480,362 is for Pathfinder, which is a 6.2% decrease. I like that trend. $14,551,873 is allocated to the town's government, 6.4% increase. Of this increase, 4.09% is related to the fiscal year 27 override. So $559,921 is part of the override. So it's not apples to apples. $4,629,969 is allocated to mandatory OPS warrants, BCTV, and cultural council.
When you say mandatory, is that state mandated assessments? Is that what we're talking about?
I believe so. I got that
We're
from.
talking about a mandatory on.
I just want to, like, general town person will know what we're talking about, if we give you a little.
We can label it differently, absolutely. That's why we're doing this.
And then ops warrants, I would just say operational. I assume it's talking about the,
Is the mandatory charges are cherry sheet, Pioneer Valley Planning, Providence Health District, assessments on the cherry sheet, allowance for abatement.
so what makes those mandatory?
Because we have to pay them.
So,
So cherry sheet offsets come off the top of our total of cherry sheet receipts. Cherry sheet assessments.
It's taken before we receive it.
Before we even receive it.
yeah, so I'm just thinking if there's a different way we can refer to those, it's a little bit clearer for a like a general townsperson. I wouldn't want to list out.
That's why we're doing this, yeah.
People aren't gonna have any. I don't know, mandatory. Maybe just do
Mandatory
mandatory fees.
assessments,
Yeah, something like that.
mandatory assessments maybe? I mean,
Or, are you committed or, or feel free to ignore. Too.
Okay, well, okay,
You can just
I
do
mean, we-
the revise and take your own.
well, I mean, when this report goes in, it's gonna have all this other backup information that, and this is all included in the backup information. That's where we got it from. So,
Is this going to be presented at the town meeting? Or just go-
no, it's gonna be a report that,
Okay.
that residents and town community members have access to.
Okay.
This is our official report to the town.
Okay.
so when we say mandatory charges, it's at the back of the finance committee report. And it also is operational warrant articles, it just came to me. Cemetery lot development, emergency reserve fund, assessors law account, and then,
I mean, I know it's all backwards. My only point is the clearer we can make it without people having to flip back and forth and try and figure out what we're talking about, the better.
Yeah, I would just label it just like that, mandatory charges. Pocketed.
and then you flip further back
Yeah,
in.
and they'll see exactly what.
Cemetery charges?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay, all right, well, then we'll move on. Pathfinder will have approximately 97 students from Belchertown enrolled in fiscal year 26, with an average cost per Belchertown student of $15,261.46.
So can we say that Pathfinder enrollment from Belchertown decreased from 110 students to 97 students? And then put that's a negative 12%, 11.8% decrease. However, the cost per student increased from 14,352 to 15,261. And I can give you my notes.
Absolutely, we can,
I think comparing it to last year is important because when you see a decrease in Pathfinder, 6.2%, it's not because the cost per student went down, it's because the number of students went down. So I just think it's,
I believe I have in here, we have 13 students left. 13 students decrease. I
I will admit I did not get through the full report, but
thought I had that in here, but it might not be in this copy. All right, I'll put in here,
and I can give you my notes.
Katie to provide notes.
And then it's same thing for the next paragraph and then the following paragraph, just providing comparative information
Okay.
last year.
Not including Pathfinder, in 2026, DESI has 1,965 total students enrolled in Belchertown Public Schools. If that number remains relatively static in fiscal year 27, it results in an average expenditure of $18,464.09 per student.
The one thing we know though is that it's decreasing.
Mhm.
So, I mean, my thought there is, if you look at a trend, then enrollment could be down to like 1,000.
Under school and town departments and insurance and debt expenses, it goes into that.
Okay, perfect.
So, so yeah, no, we can move it around. We can,
No, that's
if
fine.
it's better here. All right, so, let me move on to the next one then. And this has to do with town residents. There are currently approximately 14,502 residents in Belchertown. I was shocked at that number. I went to the clerk's office last Friday. That's where she was reluctant to give it to me because, different departments will call and say, why are you giving different amounts? But what people don't understand is that amount changes twice a day. They get a report from the state twice a day, and they have to update how many residents are in Belchertown. So it's the official count. So anyway, that was from the town clerk on 4/10/2026, resulting in an average expenditure of $1,003.44 per resident to provide the following services: general government, sanitation, environmental, public safety, DPW highway, DPW buildings and grounds, human services, culture and recreation. That is part of the $14,551,000 line item. That's where that came from. Okay.
14 million. Talking about 14,551.
Well, we divide that by 14,502. That's, so anyway, so state and town aid revenue, we'll move on to that. State aid portion of the budget, excluding mandatory charges and offsets, is $19,543,866, which includes a 0.87% increase of $167,855 in gross revenue based on the governor's fiscal year 27 budget. Note, this is important. The state's fiscal year 27 budget has not been finalized as of this publication, April 13, 2026. The offsets and/or assessments identified with state aid totals, $2,224,043, of which $2,095,238 are Belchertown School District tuition out, $14,031 special education, and $114,774 town assessments and transportation. This is an increased assessment of $126,506 for a net increase of $41,349. The town aid revenues have been developed utilizing the Proposition 2.5 constraints combined by the Proposition 2.5 override increased amount of $559,921 for fiscal year 27, and include reasonable tax increases necessary to remain current service levels. In accordance with Proposition 2.5, a municipality is allowed to increase its levy limit each year by an amount based on the value of new development and other growth in the tax base, along with the 2.5 overall increase from the prior year's limit. The total levy is $40,018,817, including the additional fiscal year 27 Proposition 2.5 override amount of $559,921 for a total increase of 13.61%, or $4,795,360. Other town local revenue receipts consisting of excise taxes, payments in lieu of taxes, ambulance receipts, and other related fees are expected to increase by 5.45%, or $289,891. Now, these, when I did these, I sent it in to Jill, and Jill corrected the numbers for me. I assume, Jill, that before this needs to be publicized, if the final budget comes in and it's different, we will adjust these numbers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And if it is adjusted, I mean, we can either approve this based on corrections or modifications and modifying to the final budget that's passed, or we can meet it. I mean, it has to be done before we publish, we get it out for publication,
Right, which
So-
won't be too long from now.
before the end of the month. So, okay, we'll move on to school and town departments and insurance and debt expenses. The town and school departments are both subject to collective bargaining agreements. The school budget includes the Belchertown school system as well as Belchertown's assessment for inclusion in the Pathfinder Regional Vocational School, Pathfinder, for short, district, which is a total of 9 communities. The assessment is based on the number of Belchertown residents that are enrolled at Pathfinder as well as Belchertown schools' overall enrollment. The assessment can vary from year to year based on these criteria and the percentage of Belchertown residents at Pathfinder. Belchertown is the 4th largest population of students. And I'm going to break there and just say that's based on October of 2025. That's when the following year's budget for schools are calculated from the enrollment of the previous year's October enrollment. It can completely change in September. Don't know. The assessment for fiscal year 27 decreased 6.2% or $98,374 from $1,578,736 in fiscal year 26 to an assessment of approximately $1,480,362. Belchertown had approximately 13 less students enrolled in fiscal year 26 than in fiscal year 25. The Belchertown public school system continues to trend in declining enrollment over the past 5 years, 22 through 26. The reduction of school choice in the lower grades assisted in the district closing Cold Springs School at the conclusion of fiscal year 26. The closure resulted in approximately $500,000 in savings. Exclusive of Pathfinder, the total school budget increase was 2.08% in fiscal year 27, or $787,602, totaling $36,281,955. In fiscal year 26, 7.12%, and fiscal year 27, 2.08%, the Belchertown School District budget increased $3,096,000. I don't think I have everything in here. 59 cents, 9.33 for an average annual increase of 4.67, or I got to circle that. Put in the hundreds.
Details.
Yeah, or for an average annual increase of 4.67%, or $1,548,279.5 per year. So Katie, back to your comments. I mean, I think this is in line with what you were saying.
It is, it
Okay.
doesn't quite spell it out like
But we can certainly, change it. That's why we're meeting. And just before I continue, last year, I wasn't part of the committee, but did the finance committee review this report?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure, dude.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
But it's a committee report. It's not, I didn't think it was my purview to create it without going through the committee. Okay, the town department budget increased 6.41% fiscal year 27, or $876,035 from $13,678,838 to $14,551,873. In fiscal year 26, the town departments increased 3.7%, or $493,180 from 13 million. There we go again, 13. Put a comma in there, from $13,182,658 to $13,675,838. For the past 2 years, the total increase has been 10.39%, or $1,369,215 for an average of 5.2%, or $684,604 per year. This, however, is very misleading as large increases are due to Proposition 2.5 override. The townside budget is seeing an increase of $559,921 from a Proposition 2.5 override in fiscal year 27, accounting for the large increase. The school department did not have a fiscal year 27 increase.
Why is that?
They took their full increase at FY26. The town didn't need the full amount for the firefighters for FY26. They were already budgeted in for the small part of the year that we had them, that we did not have a grant. And we decided to lease an ambulance in 27, and we had ARPA funds for the grant writer, or grant manager in FY26. So we just didn't take that money. We didn't charge that money to the taxpayers because it wasn't necessary at that time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I will continue now. In recent years, the town has approved new debt representing capital projects totaling approximately $5,345,000 with maturity in 2042. The projects include necessary capital with a focus on public safety, recreation, and the schools. Total debt principal outstanding as of April 2026 is $3,970,000. And again, those are the latest numbers provided, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday by Jill, or 2 days ago, just recently. So they're as accurate gets. And the next section is free cash stabilization fund, federal grants, and other liabilities. The budget includes a total of $1,418,350 of certified free cash, defined as funds that were approved in the prior year operating budget that were not expended. In addition to revenues collected over budgetary estimates, these funds are required to be certified by the state and then are available for use in the next year for operating or capital expenses or retained in reserve stabilization. Of the $1,418,350 certified free cash, $420,339 will be used for one-time capital expenditures as designated by the town manager, $194,003 to the town stabilization fund, $32,334 towards the town's OPEB deficit, and the remaining $646,675 will be used to balance the fiscal year 27 operating budget. I don't know if I should, I feel like interjecting here, but go ahead.
Sorry, you should probably add in the $125,000 that goes into the reserve fund so that it totals.
Okay.
Because somebody's gonna read that and be like, well, that doesn't total the, 1.418. It just occurred to me as you're reading.
Right. Yeah. We could, but I don't know if that's free cash stables. Well, it's where the free cash is going. So, all right. So,
Totally up to you.
yeah. Plus, we want to be full and complete. Was it 125,000 to our reserve fund, to finance committee, FinCom reserve fund, or just reserve fund? It doesn't matter. I'll just put reserve fund. I want to just say something, and I don't know if this is the time or place to do it, but there's been a lot of debate about the funds that the town is returning. I'm not going to say all of it, but an overwhelming majority of it comes from the town side of government. I don't know if the schools returned anything last year besides the 200,000. No. So it's the position of the school committee that the town is overfunded by this amount. But if we look at it, of this amount of money, 646,676 is going back into the following year's budget, of which 70% of this goes to the school department. Stabilization, if we were to expend all of it, there'd be no money left to put back into stabilization. And the same with OPEB. And capital for that matter. So, which the schools are benefiting from that. I just know this conversation is going to come up again. And
So part of that, and I think a valid factor is that the school department can move their funds around by law. They were able to, like, if it's in their building maintenance and they need it in transportation, they can just move it. It's not as simple. We have to go to town meeting. So we don't use more than we need. The town departments don't use more than they need, and we can't switch money around at will. So therefore it becomes an island. We can't just move it over to somewhere that really could use it. Simply.
it's not that complicated. As it sounds. So it's like our DPW can move funds around in there up to a point, unless it's earmarked.
No, they can't.
Within their own department, they can't?
The highway department cannot take streets construction money and pay for road machinery.
Okay.
So when you look at this report, the finance committee report, every line, we have to stick to the line. So salary, wage, expense. So if the assessors have extra money in their salary because they lost someone, they can't use it in their expense even no matter what they need it for without town meeting vote.
That's the whole idea of a special town meeting.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I did not know it was
And
that
it's the
strict.
same-
in
Yeah, and it's the
departments.
same with highways. It's everything, as you see, line by line, they have to stick within those lines.
And the school department can move their funds around with the approval of the school committee. And the budget that is presented on their website might not be the same budget that they present to the superintendent of schools to run the school. So, I mean, they're not doing this, absolutely not doing this. I mean, but technically they can give a single line item budget. And they don't, I want to make it clear, they don't do that, but they could. And so they do have a lot of leeway. And it's just up to the school committee to vote. And they do it quite often at their meetings, just standard business.
So can you tell me again what it is they think the town is overfunded by?
Well, because there's so much. But here's another thing. Last year, we had $1.7 million in free cash. As it's being tightened up, it went down $300,000, more than $300,000 this year. And I can imagine that trend is going to continue. Maybe.
We need to remember that is also revenue that was underestimated. We have to put in estimated revenue. We have to put in numbers that are reasonable and conservative. So when the revenue comes in over and above what we have estimated at this time for next June 30, that also goes into free cash. So that money is not solely town department turnbacks.
Perfect example, leasing of Cold Spring School, the lease payment that we're going to receive, and the sale of Franklin School will next year be an added to free cash, certified free cash. Then we can move it and budget it how we need to. When I came onto the finance committee, I went and met with the school department, and I had a conversation with them. This is one of the items that were brought up, and it's a valid point. But I think when this comes up, we're going to have to be very careful about how we move forward.
So this basically represents money that we haven't spent, that goes into cash, like.
Last year's money we didn't spend. They did a great job.
So if money is not spent out of the school budget, what happens to it?
what they normally do, and Jill, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do have a little bit of heartache over this. But they can do it. It's perfectly fine. In their budget, they have line items based on that they're going to fund with school choice and LEA funds. They're different. LEA funds are local from the taxpayers from the town, which is part of the $36 million. School choice, they get I think they have, what, 1.5 million or 1.4 something million for next year. It's not shown in the line item budget, but it's shown in the presentation. And at the end of the year, if they have more money left in the LEA funds, what they can do is they can move that money in the line item and make that responsible for paying for school choice funds and roll their school choice funds over for the following year. LEA funds, they can't roll over. They would have to return to the town. And it would be in this calculation. They haven't been doing that. Years ago, they've made transfers as much as $600,000+, which
So they haven't been transferring over to, what do you call it? Not LEA, from LEA to school town, yeah, school choice, yeah. They have not been doing that.
they have been.
Oh, I thought you said they had not.
They have been.
So that is essentially their free cash.
School choices they can use. I mean,
So same thing.
yeah, there was a meeting where they even said that was their fund to pay for items that they don't have to come and ask the town for, which is totally legitimate. I mean, I'm not criticizing for that, but it can't go both, it's gotta go both ways.
Well, so it sounds like our free cash sits, or not the town free cash sits here. School choice is their free cash. They get 100% of the benefit of that. But they also get 70% of the benefit of the free cash that the town sets aside.
Correct.
Okay.
So that, it's just important because they're gonna lose that if we make a change, and it's just a conversation that comes up every year, and it's gonna, next year, we expect things to be quite different.
But we're working to get to where we're not using free cash, or is that stabilization? In the operating budget, free cash. So eventually, we won't be using free cash to balance our budget, in theory.
In theory.
Just for the sake of it, in regards to this report, okay? There's a lot of information you gave, which is incredibly interesting to me. Is that something we want to highlight here, or do you want to just leave this paragraph the way it is and say, here we go?
I don't think we should highlight it. I mean, this is just to present facts.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it. There's absolutely no reason to put an edge. I'm just mentioning this because it's come up a number of times, and
No, I'm glad you mentioned it. I'm just, for the sake of the report though, I was just wondering if you wanted to not edit it, I'm trying to think of, put additional explanation, but if this is okay the way it is, I'm fine with it.
I really like to put the spending of Belchertown within the school district into context,
Okay.
which that one report that shows, 0.5.
Yeah.
It's 56% is it 56% of all the fixed costs go to school, including Pathfinder. That's really important that people know that, because I don't think a lot of people in town, especially with students in the schools, understand that the town does earmark a lot more than just the $36 million line item that they see for our public schools. And that's it. But again, I digressed. I mean, it's totally, what I just said was totally irrelevant to why we're here, but.
No. This is information that I think is interesting and is definitely explainable, and you're doing a good job doing that. I'm just looking at your report and just saying, well, should we expand? Should we not expand? Should we just leave it as is? And, I think the saving grace of this, it's going to the select board, it's not going to the town meeting. Whereas someone, if you had an entire population reading this.
It's going to town meeting.
Town
it's
meeting
going-
is in this. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought it was only going to the select board.
It's
No,
not being,
no, this is the finance committee's full report.
Ah, okay.
it won't be read at town meeting or anything.
Right,
just
not
for-
out loud, but
Right,
it'll be
right, okay.
available and online and so on.
All right, that's fine. I'm just saying that,
This is the summary of town finances for 2026 and the upcoming 2027. This is it. Well, not 26, I'm 27, I'm sorry, there's no. Okay, so, let me continue now. This is really important too, especially with the select board. The stabilization fund contains $2,213,591 as of April 2026. $325,000 will be returned to stabilization fund at special town meeting in May of 2026. $194,003 will be allocated back to the stabilization fund for free cash funds as noted above, bringing the total to $2,732,594. A healthy stabilization reserve fund should have between 5 to 8% of the town's total operating expense on an approximately $68.4 million budget. Amount does not include capital and one-time expenses. The stabilization fund should be between 3.42 million and 5.47 million. The fiscal year 25 amount of $2,732,594 balance. Let me repeat that again. The fiscal year 25 amount of $2,732,594 balance will bring us to 4%. So,
Wrong year,
huh?
wrong year, FY27.
Oh, I didn't change that. Okay, will bring us to 4.0%. So last, on the second, I believe it was the second, we discussed and voted on changing the free cash return to stabilization from, it was supposed to go 60-40, and we decided to make it 50-50 because we were going in the right direction still. So we're still below the recommended threshold, but we are moving in the correct direction. So I mean, as long as we're going in the right direction, the town has the funding it needs. I think that's a good sign. We're not going backwards. The fiscal year 27 budget includes a contribution of $32,334 as noted above to OPEB, other post-retirement benefits, employee benefit account. This long-term debt is estimated at over $45,502,062 as of June 30th, 2025. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Jill, that amount is what it would be self-sustaining. If we had that much in there, it would pay all these costs without it having to come directly out of the Belchertown budget with our fixed costs or not fixed cost, retirement pensions. So that's the trade-off. And we have nowhere near that in there now. We won't even go there.
No, most towns don't.
This long-term debt is estimated, okay, at over 45 million as of June 30th, 2025. Advisors of the benefit plan recommend an annual contribution approximately $220,000 above the annual cost to work towards funding the obligation. That $220,000 is from their report, a previous report. It is not the most recent. That may have changed recently. I do not know. I have not seen that report to add that true value in it, but I don't even know if it really matters. The liability will continue to put pressure on the current operations through funding retirement payments if we do not commit to an annual funding solution. We're never going to come up, and we're never going to build it up to 45 million. I don't see that happening. The town had a Massachusetts Department of Revenue perform a financial management review of the town's policies and procedures 2 years ago. In fiscal year 25, there was also additional data collected that will be added to their reports. The reports highlight the need to focus on adopting formal financial policies, building a long-term forecast, and maintaining a capital improvement plan. The Finance Committee continues to recommend policies to protect the town's long-term solvency beyond the immediate budget cycle, including a policy of free cash, capital investment, and other post-retirement employee benefit, OPEB liabilities. It has been and continues to be the focus of the committee on reinforcing policies and guidelines that will help drive prudent and fiscally responsible spending. I would personally thank the Finance Committee for all their efforts and time throughout the year, as well as the town manager, select board, town accountant, department heads, school committee, and school leadership. The Finance Committee looks forward to continuing to work openly, transparently, and collaboratively through the fiscal year 28 budget process next year. And all the figures that are in here are in the following items, which have been sent out. And this first report here, the 2000 fiscal year 27 budgetary revenue synopsis, was updated as of yesterday. And let's see. And on the very end, not the very end, after that, I have included the income and expense summary sheet, which is basically just the, not the line items, but the income and expenses for each category in here, not broken down by line item. And let's see, and on the end here, I included the cherry sheet as it exists now, which without a budget approved by the state legislature, this is subject to change. But it's all we can do now.
The body of the report is going to have one more perusal, another review to make sure everything balances out. Yeah, 5 times as good. So if there are any, for any reason there are changes other than I will let you know.
That's correct. Yes, this is. Replacement for page 8. So do we want to take any action on the FinCom report, or do we want to meet again? We could do a totally remote meeting or, and take this up. I'll make the typo corrections, replace a period with a comma.
I think you've covered a lot, and, other than some typos here and there, including my name, I don't see why we would need to further, I think we could accept this report with corrections available and take it from there.
And I would like to add that specifically that as the numbers change until the time of publication, it would be corrected for the most current numbers. I mean, that's pretty static.
The only numbers that are really going to change are, if there's a typo or transposition or something like that. I just want to make sure everything balances out.
Or the cherry sheet changes.
The cherry sheet probably will not be in time
Okay, well, that's
to
okay.
make a change in the whole. I suspect that it will be different in the governor's budget. The next one is the House budget. And then the Senate budget will be a little bit different as well, but it's not going to be a big amount. I think we gave them $19,000 last year.
Wow.
What do you see with this new bill, the $1.8 billion bill? I mean, that they're talking about, and passing because of school. I don't see that as being a 1-year thing. I see that as being like a 10-year.
What, 1.8 billion?
In Boston, I know Senator Olvera has been discussing that. There's been a few articles. It's been quiet the last week, but I don't see that as being a 1 year. I see that as being a very long-term year, and broken up, I can't imagine it being a lot of, so I think it's transportation and education, so. All right, so anyway, back to this, is there a second? I believe is to accept this, with the understanding that the typos will be corrected. And,
Liberty of all of typos, corrections, and additional information as required.
do you want to add your comments?
Um,
You said you had notes and
Oh, yeah,
comments.
I can give you, yeah, or
Okay.
whatever, however you want me to.
No, that's fine. Do you want to go through them while we're here?
No, I went through the message.
So I'll second Rick's motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
400. 400. All right.
And adjournment,
It's-
you want to make a motion, Mike?
Are we good? Do you have anything else in your docket?
No. Make a motion to adjourn?
Motion and seconded. Did you make the motion or are you looking for a motion?
I can't make a motion.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Adjournment 6:20.